Today, we're so super excited to have with us Anna Fernandez from Washington and Lee Law School. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Cynthia Rivera, and I am the Director of Development, Partnerships, and also an admissions advisor here at Barrier Breakers. We want to thank Washington and Lee for being a sponsor of our conference. And we want to welcome Anna Fernandez, who is the Assistant Director of Community and Recruitment at Washington and Lee Law School. Anna, thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. It is my pleasure to be here speaking with you about something that I love to do every day and to represent Washington and Lee Law School.
Great, great. Thank you so much. And we really appreciate it. So, can you share with us a bit about your role as the Assistant Director of Community and Recruitment at Washington and Lee Law School?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am originally from Puerto Rico, and I have worked in admissions and recruitment for the past 7 years. My role here at WL Law is to grow diversity of our student body by recruiting highly qualified students who are underrepresented in the field of law. As we all know, the field of law is one of the least represented by students of or people of color. And so it is my honor to be able to be part of a community that's helping to change that. I'm also responsible for helping to create a welcoming environment here for students. I meet with affinity student organizations and help them to continue to build community by understanding their needs and helping make things better for them while they're here for 3 years.
Wonderful. I love that. And that leads me into my next question, which is, what's your favorite part of working in the admissions office?
Well, by far my favorite part of working in admissions is to be able to go out all over the United States and interact with a wide range of applicants from different backgrounds and cultures and experiences. It gives me an opportunity to build relationships with them, to help them and guide them through the admissions process. The law school admissions process is very long and it's very complicated. And so it's really important to have access and the resources needed to make that process a little bit easier for students, especially for students who are first gen or it's the first time that they are thinking about entering law school. So really the overall part is just really connecting with students and helping them through this journey and being a part of it, even in just a small way, it's something that I'm really proud of.
And that's important to us because that's exactly what we do here at Barrier Breakers, which is we try to help applicants from marginalized communities who might not have access to the same information that other applicants might have. And it's important for us to make them feel that they are capable, that they're good enough to apply to law school, to become an attorney. So to have people like yourself encouraging them and providing them with the resources from the admissions perspective is just really thrilling to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's a process that can be, quite intimidating for everybody because it's so daunting. So, being able to speak to admissions counselors and, for students to know that we're there to help them and we enjoy receiving their calls and talking to them is something that they should really take advantage of as well.
Great, love it, love it. We want our students to get to know more about how the recruitment process works. I know that many students attend forums, they attend events, and they see representatives of many law schools, and many of them perhaps do not take advantage of that opportunity. So, if you can shed some light as to, how do you, for example, collaborate with prospective students during the recruitment process, and specifically what strategies do you employ to make the law school experience appealing to a diverse range of applicants, specifically from your perspective as a recruiter?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I just want to put out there is that students should not be afraid to come talk to us. All of the law fairs that are out there in the fall are free for students to participate in. And so if they are near any one of those law fairs, they should definitely take the opportunity to attend them, whether they're a sophomore or a junior or a senior, it doesn't matter. It really gives students a chance to talk to the different schools and to talk to the different representatives and really get a lot of valuable information so that then they can go back and see, where they want to go and what's important to them. And then they can digest all of that information. That being said, one of the ways that I like to connect with prospective students is, first of all, come to my table, come talk to me. I will answer all of your questions. We have a lot of students who apologize for having a list of questions, and please don't. We love answering all of your questions, and you don't want to leave any of the fairs with any questions that are unanswered. Another thing that students can do that is also part of the admissions process is that a lot of law schools, including ours, of course, is that we provide students with what's called information sessions and webinars. And this is a really great opportunity to be able to learn more about the school, their program, their faculty, their student life, what opportunities are available to them, about scholarship opportunities, another opportunity for you to ask questions to a representative. So if you're unable to physically attend a law fair, this is another way that students can take advantage of connecting with and learning more about the different law schools. Also, our job as in admissions too is also to do some individual advising. So every student is different. They have different experiences, different majors, different everything. And so a lot of students have a lot of questions and how they fit into the law school regarding, their background. And so, we take really great pride in taking our time to speak and advise students and answer all of their questions, whether it's, how to make their application stronger, how to make their personal statement stronger. So anything that they want to know, admissions representatives are here to help them in every step of the way. And so I also do some outreach. So law schools and WLA in particular, we like to connect with students via email. So you'll receive a lot of emails from us. A lot of those emails are going to contain information of when the next information session is going to be, or the next webinar is going to be, or maybe we're going to have a prospective open house where you can come visit and actually see the school and meet with students and see what it's like here in Lexington. So all of those things are very important in the admissions process. What strategies do I employ to make the law school experience better for students? One is being approachable. So it's really important to not look too intimidating for students and, smile, be honest, answer all of their questions. I like to give out my card because sometimes they don't have enough time to answer any of their questions. So by all means, take my card, take my email, call, whatever you may need. I am here to help you through this entire process. Another thing is, we like to do diversity initiatives because we want to attract students who are underrepresented in the field of law. And one of the things that we recently just started, which is going to be this summer actually, is going to be our APEX program, which is Achieving Potential and Excellence. And it's a summer law program that is actually virtual. It's only 4 days, and it's half a day, and it's free to attend. And the program is going to give a lot of valuable information to students who are thinking about entering law school. So they'll be able to hear about the law school admissions process, what are admissions committees looking for, how to perfect your application. There'll be some workshops about strengthening your personal statement. There's going to be some mock classes so you can see what it's like to be in a law classroom, what kind of readings you're going to have, how professors ask questions, how they expect you to answer those questions. There's going to be information about legal career. There's going to be panels from alumni and from students. We're also going to have, and this is a really important part, is that we're going to have a free LSAT preparation course for students. And so not only will they receive LSAT preparations for those 4 days, but after they finish our program, they'll be able to have an additional 30 hours of LSAT preparation again, free for them to access and have that. And another and the most important thing, and the one that I'm most proud of, is that our school is going to offer students a $10,000 scholarship for students who participate and successfully finish the program. You do have to apply within 4 years of completing the program. And if you get admitted here at WL Law School, you will be eligible for a $10,000 scholarship. You will also be eligible for any additional scholarship that you can get through the application. Those are merit scholarships or any diverse kinds of scholarships. But you will start off with $10,000 in your pocket if you successfully complete the program and get admitted to WL Law School. So we are really excited about this program. It's starting this summer. It's inaugural, so you're going to be the first ones to be part of it. And I'll give Cynthia the information so that she can post it, the link, so you can learn more about it. And if you're interested, that you can register for the program as well.
This is just wonderful. And I want everyone who is out there listening to please, if you need to rewind or stop the video, please do so and take notes. This is just an incredible program. And it's exactly the type of programs that we need in order to make students not just feel prepared, but feel confident about their application process. So we are going to definitely make sure that this information gets to our members of our audience because it's an incredible opportunity. Also, the fact that you're offering scholarship as part of the program, obviously with certain requirements, again, is a tremendous incentive and a great help for many of these students, particularly members of our audience who are first gen. So something that I wanted to ask you that I was listening to was the fact, and this is going back to your explanation as a recruiter and your description of your experience as a recruiter. You mentioned admissions representatives, and you mentioned that they could provide advice. Can you talk a little bit more about how that works? Because you did mention something very important, Anna, which is don't be afraid. And that's something that, again, to all of you who are listening, please take advantage of these opportunities, even if you cannot attend in person. But this is very important to remember, not to be afraid, but also to know that Washington and Lee has this outlet or opportunity or platform where a student can actually or an applicant can interact and talk a little bit about their application. Is something that I really would like our listeners to hear more about. How will that work? How does that really work? Does that apply, let's say, to someone who applied didn't get in, or is this for first time applicants? How does that exactly work?
So any students that calls our office and they have some questions about the application process, any part of it, we're happy to help them through it. Some questions that we get is, who should we ask for letters of recommendation? Or what are your advice in finding letters of recommendation? Or not how long should my personal statement be, but what should I include in my personal statement? What should I talk about? Those are all things that here our admissions representatives are willing to help you with because it's important because you don't know what you don't know. So it's really important to ask questions. And so if it's something that, we can't help you, we can't answer with, we might give you a resource where you can find it, or we might give you a link to a resource where they can help you with that. But you wouldn't get any of that information if you didn't do the initial part, which was give us a call and talk with us and ask us some questions. Because there are a lot of great resources out there and free resources that students can really take advantage of that can really help them through the process. But here we're willing to answer any questions. So if you don't know where to start or whatever it may be, talk to us, give us a call, and we'll help guide you to, the right place, the right resource, the right person. We really mean it when we say we are here to help you. And it's our literal job to answer all of your questions. So there's no wrong question. There's no dumb question. There's nothing. You have a question because you don't know, and we're there to help you, and we'll help you. If we can help you personally, we will do so. If we can help you with finding a resource, we will help you. But the important step is to be able to call us. Don't be afraid to call the admissions office.
This is wonderful, so wonderful, and I just completely love it. It's reassuring to see a law school that is so committed to their applicants and prospective students that they're willing to take time because we understand how busy it could be, and especially if there's a small staff. But to see a school so committed, it was helpful to our audience, it's helpful to our applicants, and I am so happy that you're sharing this information with us because probably a lot of people do not know that Washington and Lee is so committed and that it has those resources. So, really, we're so thankful that you're here sharing that with us. And speaking of Washington and Lee, can you tell us a little bit more about the school, or, is there anything that you want to highlight for our prospective applicants about your school?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I like to highlight is our size. So we are a very small law school, and we are a very small law school by design. Because we're a small law school, it really gives us an opportunity to engage and communicate and get to know our students well. So you're not going to be a person who's going to get lost in a sea of 200, 300 students in one class. If you miss a class, the professor's going to notice, the students are going to notice, and not notice in a bad way, but they're going to look out for you. Hey, what happened? I didn't notice that you weren't in class. Are you okay? Things like that. So our size is something that is really valuable to our students. Another one is our location. So we're in a small town in Lexington, is towards the west of Virginia, near West Virginia. And our location is really tranquil and quiet, and it's just a really great place to spend 3 years. If you enjoy the outdoors, there's lots of hiking, there's lots of opportunities to go kayaking or canoeing. So I always like to tell students that you shouldn't study 24/7. Law school is very important, and the courses are very important, and you should dedicate time to it. But you should also dedicate time to things that you enjoy doing. And so here at Lexington, we have a lot of opportunities for you to go for a walk, to go hiking, to walk your dog, whatever it may be. And sometimes, we all need, that time for ourselves. Another one is our curriculum. We really promote excellence here. And like I said, the professors are going to know you, they're going to help you. Our faculty is very accessible. There isn't a time that I don't walk down the hallway and I don't see students sitting outside faculty offices waiting to speak with them. And so they are very open to answering students' questions. And you should get to know your faculty. You should take advantage of those office hours and you should connect because it's going to make a great big difference. And our faculty are great at doing that. Another thing is our community. We really have a really special way in fostering community here. Like I said, we're a small law school. So we do a lot of programming and events and workshops and just ways that students can get together. We know some students have families. We include their families. And so we want to make sure that everybody, knows each other and has somebody. So the way we foster community is really important, and the way our students foster community is really important. They're really supportive of each other. They're really caring of each other. And you're going to hear a lot that, oh, law school is cutthroat and law school is so hard. And law school is hard, and some law schools can be really cutthroat. But here you're going to get an excellent education, but also in an environment that's supportive, that's understanding, and that is going to help you along. Everybody here in this building wants to help you succeed, and we're going to do everything possible to help you succeed. And so those are one of the things that I really value about WL law. But I'll talk a little bit about the curriculum as well, because that is really fantastic. We actually have, we're actually one of the few schools that offer transnational law and civil procedure as part of our 1L curriculum. And even though our classes are small because we're a smaller law school, our legal writing courses are even smaller. Because those legal writing courses are so important, we want to make sure that the class and the teacher student ratio is even smaller than the regular courses, because we really want you to take advantage of those writing courses. We also have a great mentoring program here. It's called the Courageous Fellows. And those are upperclassmen, 2Ls and 3Ls, that really mentor and help and guide our 1L students. So once our 1Ls come in, you're not going to be, all alone. We are going to set you up with a Kyrgyz fellow who's going to be there to help you in any way, in any means that they can. We find it that fellow students make really great mentors. Sometimes it's a lot easier to talk to somebody who's also a student, who's also, maybe your age. But our Kyrgyz fellows do a great job at mentoring our students and helping them navigate their first year of law school. And our alumni. I can't speak highly enough about our alumni. Our alumni are so accessible. They love WL Law. They love being connected to it whenever they have like any openings at their law firms. They call us right up. So our access to alumni are not only fantastic, but it's also worldwide, right? It's not just limited to here in Lexington or here in Virginia. We have access to our alumni really, all over the world. And the last thing I want to mention, I know I said a lot, but this school really is fantastic. So, so one thing that I'm really proud that the school offers students is Rising 3Ls come in for a summer immersion program the summer prior to the 3L year. And they can spend 2 weeks learning fundamental skills in either of two tracks, either litigation or transactional law. So for example, if a student takes the litigation track, they will actually do a civil trial from beginning to finish. And this is just, one piece of our faculty's commitment to having experiential learning opportunities for students and those hands-on experiences. So we have a lot of great things going on here for a very small school in Lexington, Virginia. Like I said, you're going to get a great education, surrounded by a great bunch of supportive and encouraging faculty, students, and staff.
This is just terrific, Anna. This is terrific. And again, to all of you who are listening, please take note. If you need to rewind, do so. And something that you mentioned that really stuck with me was when you said that everyone in this building wants you to succeed. That is so important. It's also so important to first generation students, for example, or minority students, underrepresented students who probably have not found their place, or have had experience that were not that great as an undergrad student, to know that they are heard and seen, and that when they're not there, someone will notice, that everyone there is rooting for you. And I hope that the members of our audience are listening and paying attention, that when they're selecting a school, they should also select a school that will fit their lifestyle, that will address their needs. So thank you so much for providing such detail and visual as to what Washington and Lee looks like, and most importantly feels like.
Absolutely. And, we care about students, not only how they perform in the classroom, but also their emotional health as well. Mental health is really important here. Students here have access 24 hours to any mental health counselor, should they need it. It's available to them. And so that's another thing that is really incredible here at WL Law.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very important. So my next question for you is, how does your law school support students in finding internships and practical experiences during their time in your program?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, we really help students, build their resume. We help them with interview skills. So we help them in those areas as well. We have a great database here that has all of the openings that are available to students so they can search through it and see what falls under their interests. I talked earlier about the community here and how students are really supportive of each other. This comes into play also in terms of finding internships. 2Ls and 3Ls love sharing with other students where they did their internship the previous summer. So now they have a connection. So if other students are interested, they can talk to the students and the student can let them know how they went about it, who they should talk to, and just really guide them. Like I said, our alumni are really great at letting us know when there are openings available so that we can let our students know. We also offer, which is really important, is one-on-one advising with students. That really helps us in learning their interests and helping them find opportunities that are tied to those interests. They also offer small group meetings with their the Courageous Fellows, which I told you was their mentoring group that mentors 1L students. So they have that. They facilitate alumni connections based on regional preference. So if you're interested in Texas or in New York or wherever it may be, we're going to help connect you with an alumni or somebody who's working in those areas for you to connect with and talk with about. We also cultivate relationships with the public sector and the private sector. We have interview programs here. So we have a Texas interview program, a Washington, D.C., a New York, and New England. In the spring, we have interview programs for our 2Ls and our 3Ls who are interested in practicing law in a small or mid-sized firm. And for those students who are interested in public interest, we also have funding to support them because we understand that a lot of students who go into public interest, a lot of those internships are not paid internships. So we want to make sure that they're able to get that experiential opportunity, but not have to be worried about how they're going to pay for food or for rent. So we do have funding for that. It's called our Path to Public Interest program.
Wonderful. And thank you for that. I really love it. And as a first gen myself, I can't say enough about how important it is to have in the Career Center someone who will provide you guidance as to what a resume should look like, right? How to write a cover letter, how to interview. For many applicants, they might have resources outside of the law school, but for many first gen, for many minority students, unrepresented groups, they don't have access to that, right? Those are not conversations that usually happen at our dinner table. What a resume should look like. We don't have an uncle or an aunt that we can ask, or parents. So to have that level of support, it's just really important. I'm glad that Washington and Lee really provides that. What advice do you have for first generation students or underrepresented applicants that usually face unique challenges in the application process or during their law school?
I'm glad you asked because I absolutely do. So during the application process, and some of this stuff is going to be items that I already mentioned earlier, but are still worth repeating. So one is to take advantage of all the free resources that are provided out there. So Access Lex is a great resource for you to have. They also do some lottery drawings for scholarship opportunities if you attend some of their financial workshops. LSAC also has some free opportunities that you can take advantage of. Some law schools don't have an application fee. For example, we don't. So here at Washington and Law, you do not have to pay an application fee. So that's something that you don't have to worry about when you apply here. But if a school does have an application fee, send them an email, ask them if they're willing to waive the application fee. Schools can also, some schools can waive the CAS report as well. And that's a credential assembly service that you are going to need through LSAC once you start your application process. And that can be pricey because you'll need one for each school that you apply for, each law school. And so asking for schools to waive that is another way you can do it. LSAC also offers two different waivers depending on students' financial needs that they can take advantage of. And it can cover things like outset fees that can also be pricey, CAS registration, score reviews. So everything is available through the LSAC website. But these are, again, free resources that students can take advantage of. Again, attend all information sessions for the schools that you're interested in applying. They put those on their admissions page on their website, so take advantage of those. Again, don't be afraid to ask questions or to call the admissions office. Um, Start the process early. That's really, really important. The application process is long and tedious, and it requires a lot of time. So make sure you allow yourself time to do it properly. Prepare well for the LSAT. It is a very important component of the application, but also know that it's only one part. So we review applications holistically. So we're going to look at all of the aspects of your application. Visit schools you're interested in. If you are still in undergrad, take a lot of writing and composition courses. You're going to do a lot of writing in law school, so it's better that you get in the habit of doing that. Do a lot of reading. Build relationships with professors in undergrad so that when it's time for you to ask for a letter of recommendation, they know you and they're able to talk about you, your academics, your leadership skills, and all of those important skills that admissions committees are going to be reading. So make sure that you build those relationships early. And most schools have a pre-law advisor. Take advantage of that. Visit with them, talk with them. They are there to help you with every aspect of the application process as well. Once in law school, my advice would be, if possible, to not work the first year. The 1L year is very heavy and is very important. And so you want to dedicate your time for your courses that first year. Visit professors often. They like to connect, they like to answer questions, and it's only going to benefit you in the end. Do your reading, so always come prepared in class with your reading done. Like I said earlier, take time out to do things you enjoy. That's important as well. You don't want to get burnt out. So do things that you like. Ask questions. When in doubt, ask questions. And again, visit those professors' office hours. Take care of yourself and take breaks as needed. And take advantage of events, workshops, resources, anything that the law school or your undergrad provides you. So resume writing, interview skills, cover letter, networking events, all of those things. Our law school here at WL Law, we do a great job of providing a lot of workshops and events and talks that you can learn a lot about and start building your networking.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, we want to delve a little bit further into the admissions process to help our listeners who are in the process of putting together their application package. And we want to ask you, what are the most common mistakes that applicants make in the admissions process or during the admissions process?
Absolutely. This is a great question, and it's really important. And the first one might shock people, but that is going to be not following directions or the instructions in the applications. Attorneys have to pay attention to details. And so, even in the application, you're already showing us that you can't pay attention to details if you're not following the directions or instructions carefully. Like I said, it's a tedious process, and make sure that you give enough time to do it properly and correctly. Another one would be taking the LSAT before they are ready. It's a very difficult test, and hopefully you don't have to take it more than once. So make sure that when you take it, that you are ready. Another one would be to not proofread or have others edit a personal statement. So it's really important that depending on what you write in your personal statement, you have somebody who knows you personally to proofread it, and then somebody who knows you professionally, academically, a professor, a writing coach to proofread it. You want to make sure that a personal statement is flawless and free of any type of mistake. Because again, if there's mistakes, that's again attention to detail, and it tells us a lot in the admissions committee about your commitment. Asking someone for a letter of recommendation, that won't be positive. So it might sound strange, but when you're asking for a letter of recommendation, you should ask if they're willing or if they're going to write a positive letter of recommendation. Because if they're not, you certainly do not want that person to write it for you. You want to choose somebody who is going to talk highly and positively about your academic abilities, about your character, your ethic, and your potential to succeed in law school. So if they're not able to do that, move on to the next person. And the next one I think is extremely, extremely important, and that is skipping the optional essays. Just because it says optional doesn't mean you should skip it. A lot of those optional essays ask a lot of questions that are going to give us more insight into you, your life, your experiences, what you can bring to the law school and to the field of law. So don't make the mistake of skipping those optional essays. The more information we have about you, the better it's going to be for your application. So do not skip those. Another one would be to not speak with an admissions representative from the school you're interested in. You'll get a lot of inside information. They give you things that you may not know, have to ask, but they provide the information anyway. So call us up. Come talk to us at a law fair. We're happy to see you and we're happy to answer all of your questions. Another would be not attending an information session. Information sessions are very valuable. You can learn a lot about what the law school is looking for, what they want in a personal statement. Some provide information session on how to write a personal statement, how to perfect your application. Whatever it may be, there's some really valuable information in attending those sessions. And we have those here at WA Law that you should definitely take advantage of.
This is exactly the type of information that our listeners need to hear. I also want to ask you, and that leads me into this next question. What are the questions that you wish more students ask during the application process?
Yeah, they should ask, what should we write in our personal statement? And it's not because the admissions representative is going to tell you should write about this, 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 and that. No, it's not about that. It's about letting you know that your personal statement should be honest and authentic and real. And it should not be a piece of paper where you're trying to tell us all the things you think that we want to hear. It shouldn't be about that. It should all be about you because the personal statement is your introduction to the admissions committee. So you want to make sure that you're being your authentic self, 100%. Another question that students should ask, and it's really important, is, what is, your last class profile? So what was the median LSAT and GPA? Ask about their percentage of students employed after graduation. Passing the bar is really important, right? So ask if they provide students with bar prep course to help them with study for the bar, or how do they help students prepare for the bar. Another thing you can ask for is, can you connect me with a current student? Am I able to speak to a current student? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you want to connect with a student who's interested in the area of law that you're studying, we can absolutely connect you with one, and our students are more than happy to connect with you and answer any questions that you might have. So, like I said earlier, there's no question you shouldn't ask, because a question not asked is a question that is not going to get an answer. And we really are here to make the process easier, to answer all your questions, and to demystify the admissions process.
This is fantastic. So, once again, we want to say thank you to Anna Fernandez, who is the Assistant Director of Community and Recruitment at Washington and Lee Law School. And it has been an absolute pleasure. You're so approachable, you're so open, so candid. I want to encourage our listeners to reach out to Anna if they have any questions about their application process, about applying to Washington and Lee. I really, really encourage that. Anna, if you want to drop your information, where can they find you?
Absolutely. So you can find me at the website of Washington and Lee School of Law. My email is A as in Apple, Fernandez at wlu.edu. And I am looking forward to hearing from you. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. And I'm looking forward to answering any questions that you might have about Washington and Lee Law School or the admissions process. And thank you for having me here today.
Absolutely, it has been a pleasure. And for anyone who's interested in the summer program, we will provide information about that as well. Or you can reach out to Anna Fernandez directly. Once again, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And if anyone wants to share, like, or subscribe, that will be great. Have a great day.